we got some news that WWE is parting ways, releasing Selena Vega. That's right, Vega, my little pudding pop, who is married to Aleister Black. She has been released from WWE, and it came out of nowhere because by the time that we're recording this podcast, it's actually Friday night, late Friday night, actually technically Saturday morning, but it's late Friday night. So this news just happened. So everybody was like, "Well, what the hell she get fired for?" And then it's so that she tweeted out saying that she supports unionization. And when that tweet came out, everybody was like, "Oh snap!" And it also because I figured out that may not be the only reason, because after WWE told everybody to close down their Twitch account, stuff like that, she kept her Twitch account and her OnlyFans account, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, and she didn't shut that down, so now she got released, and this is some news because Selena Vega is one of the bigger names in the company that has actually been used. Like she was a valet.
She just saw last week.
Yes, she
believe
did.
She's supposed to fight tonight, to be honest with you.
Oh God, yeah, on that, yeah. But she did, because I was like, if she in another fucking triple threat match. But yeah, she was obviously most popular when she was a valet for Andrade, and she been on Andrade announced for years. Then she
I wish they would have let her. I wish they would have let her like wrestle more, like in TNA Impact and all them. Like we know her as a wrestler. She's a good on the mic, yes, but
we know her as a wrestler.
She's definitely good. Yes.
Yeah, especially from over in Impact. And then I do know, which is unfortunate, like WWE makes it a point every year to make sure they let her story be known because she lost a father at 9/11. So they make sure, she's very like be patriotic for the company and everything like that. Tell us your story every year. So it's like, yes, we get it. And
she told her, she told that story as soon as she's released. Guys, I just want to say I'm happy, and I kept this trophy with my dad, because he just she told the story, like even in her little speech of her getting fired.
Well, I'm saying, she was very close to her dad, so I can understand. So now she's released. She's really married to Aleister Black, very talented woman, which I think was underused in WWE. But we got a problem in WWE, and it is in 2020 has, even though everybody keeps talking about how bad of a year this is, you're absolutely right. This year is shit. But one day we got to say that when we look back at it, 2020 is going to be the year that jump starts the changing of the world, because a lot of things were revealed this year that were covered up so much that people are actually starting to see. And when it comes to these WWE superstars who are independent contractors but yet are treated like employees, basically almost slaves. This thing has been coming out, and
again, like we talked about off the podcast.
Yes,
people want to work here,
and people look. I understand. But like I said, but right now, like the sheet is being pulled back in the craziest of ways right now. To be honest with you, and right now with this thing with Selena Vega going right now, this is bullshit. In my person, I'm sorry. I got let know like it is. Like you heard stuff over the summer. It's like there's things we can't change, and then now with the whole third party thing, that really kind of pissed me off. And I'm like, okay, look.
Yeah, it's like you can't even have a podcast without them trying to take.
Exactly. This ain't got nothing to do, because it's quarantine. There's no house shows going on, and you're telling people to come into this COVID soup. It's either an NXT or the Thunderdome, and the cases are going back up again. And you're just all, huh?
Now I wait till you done.
I'm saying, and you're this all powerful company, and like you give no regard for your you don't treat them like employees until you want to treat them like employees. So they're independent contractors. They go do what they want to do, and then you want to control that. Vince McMahon is somebody who needs to have control. And when he loses control, this is how, or he starts to feel that he's losing control. This is the kind of shit that happens. So, what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say like, how can I put this? Why do they listen?
You know, you talk about the wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
Because you know why? I'm be honest with you, because certain people come from a place of privilege where other people don't, and when you come from a place of privilege, you don't understand what somebody else may be going through because you're not experiencing that. For example, remember when Dean Ambrose left to go to AEW, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he went on Talk Is Jericho. He talked about, first of all, he thanked the WWE, by the way, for helping him learn and get stuff done from his CZW days. And after that, he said, okay, I got it out the way. I'm going to bury the ass. And I'm going to tell them everything that was wrong with what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then, remember Seth Rollins came out and it kind of threw him under the bus a little bit, saying that he wasn't strong enough to deal with this company.
Yeah, well,
but here's the thing, though. Seth Rollins is talking from a place of privilege because Seth Rollins, at the time, was Universal Champion.
Mm-hmm.
He's the different things that Seth Rollins is experiencing because he's a champion and making his money is not the same thing Dean Ambrose is going to experience. Everybody knows Roman Reigns gets treated with hella courtesy, opposed to Apollo Crews. Yep. If you go back to the Attitude Era, The Rock and Stone Cold are taken care of. I mean, to the highest of points. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that The Rock and Stone Cold did not pay their dues, because they did. I mean, Stone Cold's had to travel, but Stone Cold is going to be staying in one of the fancy hotels. Where's Al Snow staying?
Well, that's not on the that's on the wrestlers though.
But I'm saying, but even still, remember when Bill Bailey was in that interview, and it was like they are responsible for getting themselves to these different cities and stuff like that. They don't have transportation for these.
That's why they do WWE ride along.
Exactly, and I'm just
they said, y'all gotta drive 5 hours, so we gonna make a show out of it.
Opposed to providing transportation for your superstars to these different places. But here's the thing, they're not our employees, so it's not our responsibility to get them from one city to the other. Okay, so they're not your employees, they're independent contractors. We found out what the definition of independent contractor meant, and now since they're doing independent contractor stuff, now you want to treat them like employees. So to answer your question, it comes from a place of privilege. The same thing Jesse Ventura tried to get. This unionization shit is not new.
Yeah, but like, come on now, like literally, they say I can't do this and I can't do that, or even like just anything.
But you know what? If Selena Vega, Paige, maybe even Sami Zayn, or maybe like the lower card people are fed up with this shit.
Yeah, I don't know why Paige is still there. Probably because they pay her to just do nothing but like. Literally, she's like, yeah, they took my Twitch, they took everything away from me. I can't do anything.
Well, it's still on contract, like I'm saying, because you gotta, if you break that contract,
contract for what? She can't wrestle. She has a wrestling contract. So what is she on contract?
But I'm just saying, but that's how great they are. The thing is, it ain't like these people sign. These people, when Paige came, Paige probably signed probably a 5, 6, 7 year deal with WWE, and when she got injured, she still is on that contract. Now, I don't know when Paige's contract is over. I don't know. But they will be greedy because they don't want her to go somewhere else and try to wrestle. So that they will hold. This is the same thing.
She already can't do that.
This is the same thing that happened to Luke Harper. It's the same thing that happened to the Revival. They held on to them, and they just had to sit there and wait till their contract expired and get the fuck out of there. Same thing with Matt Hardy. That's what they did. And now you can go to the back, and it's like, yo, let's rile up everybody.
So, I got another question there.
Go ahead.
If they're independent contractors, what if they go to another company and dispute it? Like, what if one of them show up in, like, Impact?
Like, Anderson and Gallows?
No, like while on contract, since they're independent contractors, show up on Impact.
Well, they get sued.
Why?
Because that's part of their contract. If they can get sued and they got to pay that money, they owe WWE.
Okay, so they're independent contractors, but yet they can't appear anywhere else.
Look, the question you ask is more of like the rhetorical, sarcastic kind, which I understand, but I'm just the best way I can do is like, it don't make sense. I'm agreeing with you. It doesn't make sense. It needs to change. But as of right now, I agree with you. It should be a rally of the troops, because it's like this. Okay, when all the protests was happening this year, right? You know, the NFL, if every black player said, "Hey, I don't want to play football because we're not getting treated right," and so if they don't play, there's no football. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, but here's the thing. Why didn't they do that?
I guess they trusted the process. I don't know.
It's not about, because if you got low tier football players who will be like, look, we're gonna kneel regardless and we're gonna protest. They're expendable if you're at the bottom. But if you ain't got Patrick Mahomes, if you ain't got Russell Westbrook, if you ain't got the top people, or
Wilson,
I keep saying Westbrook, Russell Wilson, yeah. If you ain't got Russell Wilson, if you know what I'm saying, if you don't have, you know, say Lamar Jackson, if you don't got these people behind you that make these owners in this business a shit ton of money, and risk putting their jobs on the line or their reputation, then you have no fight.
Yeah, and I know in the NBA, Chris Paul was like the leader. He's like one of the top guys, so of course they're gonna listen to him. Yeah, exactly. Actually, he's the president of the Players Association.
It was him and Pau Gasol. That was announced as Chris Paul.
This year?
No, this year I think.
I'm talking about that. Okay.
Yeah, now it's just Chris Paul, but before it was him and Pau.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, it's just Chris Paul. So yeah, so when he was the president, they did all the Black Lives Matter stuff and they had the stuff on the jersey. They were like, we're gonna make a statement our way. That's the same thing the WNBA did. And when you got the top player in the WNBA like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird, that's like, we with you, we gonna protest with you, then the movement gets stronger. But here's the thing: if you ain't got Roman Reigns that go look at the situation and be like, yo, what happened to Zelina Vega is truly fucked up.
Well, you can't use Roman as an example, because Roman don't do that kind of stuff though. But you gotta do like AJ Styles. Do AJ Styles.
You know AJ Styles ain't gonna fight for that.
But I'm saying AJ Styles is like a gamer, so it would like AJ Styles has the twitches and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm saying
if you use Roman Reigns as an example, or anybody close to that, I'm trying to think of a big person that that has that different.
Okay, but
stuff.
Okay, it's like this. If I know
what you mean. You can use them. Yeah, man.
But if you use AJ and Xavier Woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The question is, you have to have enough support from your peers. Like, if you're going to start a movement, everybody got to be in the same headspace. If they're not in the same headspace, or don't agree necessarily what you're fighting for, or don't want to, or they feel as though they got more to lose than to gain from this, then you have no movement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the fucked up part about this. So with the Zelina Vega issue is that her coming out and saying, I support unionization, she took a stand that probably a lot of wrestlers feel, but they're too scared to say. That's the thing with power. Nothing in this country, whether it comes from sports or just in the world, has ever been given to anybody. They had to fight for it. And when it comes to the unionization in WWE, they have to fight for it, or there will be no change. Now, we did read that you have the actual abbreviation for this, but it's called, was it SAG-AFTRA, which stands for.
Yeah.
Do you still have the thing pulled up, or what it means?
Oh, my bad. I got. Sorry.
Okay.
Screen Actors Guild
Oh yeah,
or American Federation of Television and Radio Artists.
Yes, the president of that, her name is Gabrielle Carteres, I believe I'm saying, or I'm probably saying that wrong. But she contacted Zelina Vega after the news broke, and she's part of this labor union that represents over 160,000 people.
So I just want to give you a little bit of background real quick.
Sure.
Just a little bit of background.
Mm-hmm.
SAG they kind of do like union things. So basically, this is the same situation that happened to the Power Rangers. Basically.
Okay.
With David Yost and Walter Jones, because they weren't being unionized.
Yeah.
So they went over to SAG, and now they are in the union, because before they weren't doing that type of stuff.
Okay.
And they were mad that they weren't doing that type of stuff.
Oh.
So basically, they kind of brought them over into the unionization, and then that's what they kind of did with Zelina Vega. It's like trying to say, like, hey, we have a meeting, and you can get, unionized. Maybe we can even do bigger and better things for you. She did play AJ Lee, so maybe they said, hey, we can get you here, and you probably can do more acting roles or something. I don't know.
But now also with her getting unionized, but does that just benefit her, or does that benefit her coworkers?
No, that is just her situation, because now that she's gone, she can basically say whatever. While them, they probably might not necessarily. They can't help nobody revolt or anything like that. Like, you gotta work for your SAG card, but
yeah,
if they all get unionized together, they can still get unionized by themselves, yes. Mm-hmm. But if they kind of don't give a little nudge to Vince, like, hey, this is what we want, or else we're going to be unionized, and then after they get unionized, then it's kind of a more difficult situation for Vince. For the company. Yeah,
as I'm saying, that's
basically is the same situation. Like, we want unionized, so we're gonna leave, even though they can't leave. But it's kind of like the same situation in a sense.
Mm-hmm. And
at least from how I see it.
But I agree with you, and like I said, it's not clear where this is going. People are saying, but there could be some changes in pro wrestling and MMA. And Andrew Yang, who was running for president early this year, indicated that he plans on pushing to get legislation passed to address how WWE classifies wrestlers and independent contractors. Now, once again, we have a new president-elect, and there's a chance that when they do the runoff election in Georgia, that say the Dems could run the Senate. Just because Andrew Yang didn't win for to be president, he still work at the White House. Mm-hmm. They could really push this to Joe Biden and Congress and the Senate and all that stuff like that, and see if they can actually help these people out. Because like I said, if he's thinking about doing that, and more and more things are happening, this is going to cause a big headache for Vince McMahon and the company. Yeah, because never before has wrestling ever been pulled back on the curtain to this extent. Because remember when it's about to come to Fox News and Bayley was getting interviewed, and she was appalled about how the wrestlers had to travel, do all this kind of stuff like that. That was a secret in wrestling that nobody knew about. Because once again, if you don't watch wrestling, you don't kind of care to know about it.
Yeah.
And if you're a wrestling fan, you just kind of accept it. But now, since people are coming out, and this thing is happening, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying there is a more of a chance that things could be, put in place to kind of change that. And like I said, I'm all for standing up what you believe in and fighting for what's right. But the thing is, it's just so hard to get people to convince you about, what's going on. It's like I don't know how long it took, but like remember earlier this year when Randy Orton finally came around to what BLM truly meant.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, but everybody ain't gonna get that kind of talk. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna be like, fuck it. They don't care.
Yeah,
so,
everybody not gonna be, yeah.
So everybody's just not going to be at that. And if some people just have a biased view about things like that, or they want to believe what they want to believe, or they don't want to be taught, then that's an issue. So when you have, it's like, damn, Selena Vega got injured. I like Selena Vega. I love her. Her coworker saying, but they're like, well, damn, if Vince is trying to make an example out of her, he's basically saying, don't nobody say nothing. But the reality is, if everybody came out and supported Selena Vega and said, yo, this was classless. This was wrong. The WWE needs a George Floyd situation, and what I mean by that.
Whoa.
Well, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not talking about somebody getting killed. The only reason why Black Lives Matter or protest or justice or systematic racism has been at the forefront this year is because they seen a man just get killed who was already in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? They seen somebody who the punishment got to fit the crime. So the man had a counterfeit bill and whatever the fuck he was doing, and he was doing something bad. Arrest him and he got to deal with that shit. But you just blatantly killed him. This is what WWE needs to do. They're making an example out of somebody who didn't do anything wrong, not to my knowledge. This act of firing her is not about if Selena Vega was a good person or a bad person in the past. I'm talking about what she did now. And all she just said was, I support unionization. And if that's the case, and then she has a right, like, if she want to keep her OnlyFans up, her Twitch thing up, it's like, my God. But then once again, people may say, well, you know, I don't think that's worth the job that you got making all that money. Once again, you're not in that woman's shoes. People already want to judge and say what you shouldn't do or what you can't do. But if you're not in that person's shoes, if you have not walked a mile in those person's shoes, you really got no right to say nothing.
I don't even think they care about I can't say they care about getting paid or whatever. I don't think they even care about getting paid on Twitch or whatever. But like, it's an escape for them. They literally on the road or going there, got to deal with Vince and all that. It's like, hey, I can't even play video games with my fans. Well, that's what it boils down to. I can't play video games with my fans.
Exactly.
I know that some of them do get paid, of course, because they have big followings. But like, I don't even think, like, for me, it wouldn't even be about the money. It would just be about that escape.
If you're on the road, because WWE, you know, has the longest road schedule of any wrestling company, and if you're on the road to the point where they don't even, and to the point where you're not even be on TV, but you have to just be there, which is bullshit in the first place.
Like Gold does have to paint his face every week and never make an appearance.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck for? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's no need for all that, because you know who you're gonna need this week. You know who you're not gonna need this week. You just want to control people, and these people got to be on the road for 300 days a year. Sometimes people, that's why the injuries be happening so high. Why do you think, you know, people are exhausted? That you got terrible writers because they don't know how to write for a wrestling show. And you overexhaust all these people, and then it's like, okay, well, finally, here come the holidays. Once again, I told you that November, December holiday stuff, we could give you your time off like that, or you may work 6 out of 7 days that week. But now, since the Thunderdome started, it's like, okay, now people are having a chance to go back home for a week or 2 weeks before they had to come back and do the show again. But once again, it's in the middle of COVID. You know, we're in the middle of a pandemic that I gotta go travel to the airport and to keep coming back here. 2 of my friends or associates that I know that is roommates to a friend of mine got sick.
Hey, pick one now. Which one it is?
I'm sorry, yeah. A friend of mine who her two roommates got sick because they work at the airport. Everybody's coming in and out from the airport. There's no bans none anywhere. They haven't slowed anything down. People just be going to the airport because it's like $26-$30 a round trip ticket. And everybody's like, well, I just want to, you know, try to have some fun in 2020. That's the situation.
Yeah, if they consider COVID fun, then sure, go ahead.
I mean, it really shouldn't. But once again, you know, we haven't been taught. You know, COVID has been almost a whole joke to a lot of people this whole year. So It's like, but I'm not going outside. But once again, you're asking these wrestlers, they got to go outside. They got to wrestle with each other. They got to be sweating on each other, then breathing on each other, and all kind of stuff that is just a trap house for COVID. So yeah, but there's something in there that if they get sick, that they got to go quarantine and get themselves better. So you're lucky that they're in tip top.
And then get punished. It depends. Exactly.
And you gotta be lucky that they're in tip top shape, because guess what? They got no health insurance.
Cause I still can't get on how they got mad at Roman Reigns because he wanted to be safe.
Exactly. He wanted to be safe. Sami Zayn wanted to be safe. Kevin Owens wanted to be safe. Charlotte still ain't back yet.
Well, she's that's a different situation.
Well, I know she's trying to take some time off, but you think she want to come back to this shit right now?
Nah, but she trying to get her stuff on with Andrade. She ain't even probably worried about that right now.
She probably really isn't. But all Vince cares about is that almighty dollar. And like I said, right now, he's trying to force Becky Lynch back after she has the baby to go against Ronda Rousey. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that shouldn't even be a thing right now.
Yep, I shouldn't even be worried about that at the moment.
Look, I have kids, okay? And it's like, when my daughter was born, it's like, oh my God, it's like you carried well, not me, but my wife carried the baby around for all those months, and as soon as she was born, it's like you created life. You want to be around that life. Mm-hmm. You want to raise that life. You got to get that life chance to know you. Okay? And I'm like, so it's like, okay, Vince like, all right, pop the baby out, clean the baby off, give it to the babysitter, and come on. That's how shit works, man.
According to Vince, it is. How you think he has Stephanie and Shane?
Yeah, shit. That's probably how shit works on. But in the real world, well, real people, what I'm saying, that's not how things work. And then on top of that, she got to recover. You can't just come back and take a bump after you had a baby.
Sure you can. That's how Stephanie did.
Yeah, Stephanie do that shit. So I'm pulling for Selena Vega. I really hope that maybe next year, even 2022, because I'm tired of lawsuits coming to WWE and that shit be either getting dismissed or they don't win nothing or goes on the table.
Especially, if you do it in a different country, a different state too. Exactly. They can sue you back. Which that part just you can only sue us in Connecticut. What? Yeah, I don't know. They got crazy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they got crazy stuff.
It's getting out of hand, and like I said, as of right now, you have to piss off a certain amount of wrestlers, but it has to be some of the big ones to the point that they're going to look and be like, "Look, man, what happened to Selena wasn't right. It was not right at all." So the question is, hey, do we fight for her? Or do we be like, that sucks, let's it's business as usual? That's where your disconnect comes in at.